Do you want to see what I did with the table that Kenny built me out of scrap MDF? Stay tuned and enjoy the video. For this project, we're going to be using the Stone Coat Countertop regular tabletop epoxy, and we're going to be doing 28 ounces. So we'll be doing 14 ounces of A and 14 ounces of B. I always start with part B first. And the reason I do that is part B is quite a bit thinner or less viscous than part A. And when I put the part A in, it's going to fall down through part B, and I get just a little better, more accurate measurement. All right, we'll mix for 2 minutes. So once I've mixed for 2 minutes, I'll take a stick and I'll scrape my edges. Now the reason I do scrape my edges instead of pouring it into 2 separate buckets is because I'm gonna take that material that's on the edge of this bucket that may not be mixed up thoroughly, and I'm going to go ahead and hand mix it into the rest of the material. Now make sure that you read the instructions on your material that you're using and follow those instructions. We're using Stone Coat Countertop Epoxy, and with this method, I have never had any sticky spots on our surface. So make sure that you follow your directions. All right, there we go. Now another question is that I get often is, how come I don't wear a mask when I'm doing work with epoxy? This epoxy is very, very safe. It's 0 VOCs, and so I don't have to have a mask. However, I am working in a large area, well ventilated. You don't want to do this with Stone Coat or any other epoxy when you're in a very closed, tight room with no ventilation. Also, make sure that you know what product you're using and if it's flammable or not. We are able to pop bubbles with a torch. Not all products you can use a torch with. So just make sure that you read your directions. Okay, so we've done the mixing. Now it's time to put our colors in. So this is gonna be a really fun, easy finish. We're gonna be using black dye by Alumilite, brown opaque dye, and then we're gonna be using some bronze mica powder. Now, I don't want equal amounts of everything, so most of my color is going to be the brown. I do want a little bit more of the brown than the black. And then I'm not gonna go crazy with my bronze. You should know me by now. The way I mix and measure is exactly the way that I cook. I don't measure, I eyeball it. So I will give you a little more hint to what I'm doing as soon as I get it all poured out. All right, so here's my ratios. I have the most of our brown opaque dye. Then I've got about equal amounts of our black and our bronze mica powder. So I don't want that black to really take over, and I also don't want that bronze mica powder to really be crazy blingy in there. All right, so we're gonna come in with our bronze mica powder, and I'm gonna add a little bit of our thin dispersion. I'm gonna put about a capful, and then I'm gonna add my brown mica powders. Now this is the dark bronze. I said brown, but I meant dark bronze. So I'm gonna put 3 scoops, about that size, and mix that in there. Now the reason I put that thin dispersion is because that dispersion is really gonna help me mix the mica powder well, and I won't get those little tadpoles that you get when you don't mix a mica powder really thoroughly. Almost like a brownie. When you pour a brownie dough out, you get these little dry spots. All right, and plus it just makes that mica powder just melt like butter. It's just so easy to do that. All right. Brown dye by Alumilite. And I really love this brown. It is definitely one of my favorite browns. It is such a pretty color. And one thing I like about it is that you can actually tint it to where even though it says it's opaque, you can put just a couple of drops and actually make a very transparent brown, which is absolutely gorgeous. But we're gonna go for a more opaque look on this. See, so now see how you can see through that? I want it to be quite a bit more opaque. So we're gonna add just a little bit more. Really richen that up. And what's really gonna be cool is when we start doing our finish, it's going to meld with the black and we're gonna get an even cooler look. All right, coming in with our black opaque dye. All of these products are available on my website, RK3Designs.com. Ooh, yes. Okay, so the project that we're gonna do is a table that Kenny made for us a few weeks ago in one of the videos where he showed you guys how to make a rock edge. So if you wanna see the video where Kenny built this table, look in the video description below of this video. So this is the little table that he made. And what we've done to prep for this video is I've painted it with our Stone Coat Countertop undercoating. And then I came in with 3 different color spray paints and I lightly fogged the edges, just layering the spray paint. And what that's gonna do is as our epoxy rolls over these rock edges, those colors are gonna kind of peekaboo through and really make it look authentic. So the colors that I used were the Rust-Oleum Hammered Gold, Rust-Oleum Metallic Brass, and the Rust-Oleum Metallic Gold Rush. All right, so it's 3 different colors basically of gold that I very lightly fogged. Now, I still did allow some of that black undercoating to show through the fogging. You don't want to fog it so opaque that you don't let some of that black show through ever so often. I'm going to start off with the brown opaque dye, just because I have a lot of it. And I'm just going to pour it out, not in any kind of pattern. I don't want to start a pattern because then that will kind of radiate through our finish. Pour it out, turn it upside down. Here comes the black. All right, here we go. Now I'm just kind of filling in with the black. There we go. Now comes the fun part, the bronze. Love it. All right, here we go. Now I'm just filling in those spots. Now guys, this is also a place where you can decide how much bling you want. If you don't want there to be a lot of the bronze dye, then cut that in half. You don't have to use as much. This is totally up to you. All right, I'm gonna leave a little bit in the cup. I might need that later. All right, pick up my cups. I've got it all laid out. I'm gonna hit it really quick with the torch and all that's gonna help me do is meld it out a little bit easier. Now, if you're pouring in a very warm environment, you don't have to do that. It's a little bit cool in here. It just makes it all easier. All right, so I'm gonna come in either with a brush or with the ever so popular Bondo spreader. Love it. All right, so if you're gonna use the Bondo spreader, I know this sounds dumb, but just use 2 fingers, all right? Don't grab a hold of it like this because you're gonna pull too much product. All right, so just very lightly hold it. So you're almost just doing a skip trial. trial, skip trial, for those of you that love to correct me that I say it wrong. Oh my gosh. You know what, guys? I'm not even going to use a brush because I absolutely love how this Bondo spreader is laying this all out. Now, like I said, you can definitely use a brush. If you do, you'll get a little bit different pattern. I love this. All right. And when I'm doing that melding with the Bondo spreader, I'm doing longer strokes. I'm not melding in one area more than once. I'm really moving it. If you stay in one spot too long and just keep over melding it, what's going to happen is you're going to just end up with one color. You're not going to end up with that beautiful mixture of colors. All right, now, this is what I really want you to pay attention to. If you do have any little open spots, just tap them with your finger and those will go away. Now, this is what I really want you to pay attention to. I'm gonna come around to the front. On my rock edge, I don't want a ton of that material to run over. I actually want this to be very thin, and I want some of that rock to actually show through right there, okay? I'm not worried about full coverage at this point because this is only my color coat. I'm still gonna come back over the top of this with my second coat or my flood coat. And then I'm gonna put the matte ultimate top coat on here. Let's go that way. So my edges are gonna be very protected. But by just putting a little bit of this, using my hands, I'm really letting all that color that I had already fogged on there just be part of the finish. This is absolutely stunning. I love this. This is, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this table or make it into a table. I guess I'm just gonna keep it for myself. I never do that actually. Okay. So pretty. So you see I'm just kind of grabbing a little bit of that epoxy from the top and pulling it over. Now, if it continues to run over the edge, that's okay, because what I'll do is as it starts to set up, I'll just kind of come back and I'll tap it out. Now, I may want some of this to just very organically roll over because it may look really neat. And if it does, then I'll leave it alone. And if not, I'll rub my hand over it. All right. Now, I do want you guys to do this, however. I do want you guys to get some epoxy on your hand and rub underneath that edge so that as that epoxy does happen to run under there, you will really get a good flow. You won't get any surface tension. Remember, we're still gonna come back with our flood coat. All right, so I'm gonna torch one more time with my bubbles. This could be a finish all on its own, and probably should be a finish all on its own, but no way. I'm going to take it to the next step, and I'm going to add some major bling. So what I've done is I had saved a little bit of the clear epoxy, and I added to it a new product that we are carrying, and I'm so excited to be able to carry this line of colorants and glitters, is Just Resin Chocolate Truffle. I mean truffle. You honestly, look at that. Do you just not want to take a big old bite of that? That is amazing. And then what I did is I added just a tiny, tiny bit of gold dust by Alumilite, which we've carried forever. And that just kind of gave it just a little bit of a golden hue. Now you don't have to do that. You can go straight in with the chocolate truffle. Now we're gonna add just a little bit of bling. I don't wanna go crazy with this. I just want a little bit of bling. And remember, you don't have to do this. You could stop right now, but I ain't stopping. I'm going. I'm just gonna take a stick, just kind of drip that, and I'm just gonna kind of follow patterns that are already there. Not a lot, just kind of be very random, very thin. Now remember, our epoxy's still moving, so these lines are gonna get very, very thin. If you wanna go bolder, 100% you can, but I don't really want super bold lines. And as we get to the edge, I'm just gonna kind of let it fall over the edge a little bit, and we'll play with our edges just a little bit more. Wow, wow, look at that. It's just enough to catch your eye. It's not, I'm not going crazy with it. And not every line has to go all the way across the table. You can kind of make it loop back around. And like I said, I'm just kind of picking out patterns that are already there. Now let me show you one other thing you can do. If you don't want those veins, you can come in here, lay out your vein, and then come back with your Bondo spreader and very lightly tap that vein and meld it out so it becomes very soft. You can do that as well. In fact, I think I'm gonna do that in a couple of places. All right, so I'm gonna try something else. Never done this like this before, but you know, I'm gonna put some of that glitter on my hand. Okay, see that? I don't have a lot, but I'm gonna drag my hand across a little bit over this rough area, and I'm gonna let that grab a hold of all of this yummy texture. Now I love that. See how that's kind of rolling on its own? I really like that. So it's a little thicker there. I'm not gonna touch that. But I do wanna bring in bling ever so often here. Like I said, I'm not bringing in a whole lot. And if I do get a lot, I know that epoxy's still gonna run and push some of it out. But I just want it to kind of grab a hold in these low areas. If you get too much in one area, just take your hand, dab it, pull that glitter off. You can even take a paper towel. If you've got so much, I like it. I mean, you know me, I can't have too much bling. I love that. Okay. All right, I'll finish up on my backside. All right, guys, so what do you think? I love this. It is so pretty and so simple, guys, for you to recreate this look. Couple of things. If you don't want as much of that bronzy metallic look, just don't use as much of the metallic. You can just use more of the two opaque dyes. If you don't want the bling, how dare you? Then you don't have to add the glitter. But to me, it just takes this finish to the next level. All right, guys, so leave me some comments below. Let me know what you would do. Would you add another color of mica, maybe to accent? Let me know. I think actually a beautiful dark green would be gorgeous with this as well. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know too, what am I gonna do with this table? I have no idea. I've got to make something out of it. All right, so all of these products are available on our website, RK3Designs.com. Also, if you will go to the website and you will click on the tutorial link, it will give you not only this video, but it'll also give you more of our still shots of this and close-up shots. Also, it'll give you the exact list of the products that we used. So don't forget to do that. Also, sign up for our newsletter, guys. We send out at least once a month promo codes with specials for our products and also our classes. So check that out. And don't forget, we do have an online course. It's called onlineepoxypro.com. Check it out. All the information is there if you would like to learn all of these great finishes. Plus, we go into depth about business, pricing, bidding, all of that fun stuff that you don't find on YouTube. Also, guys, I completely forgot. Hit the little bell for future notifications. That way, you guys will know every single time we upload a video. Also, we do a live at 7 p.m. Central every Tuesday night. So join us. Also, subscribe to our channel, guys. We are boosting our numbers, and hopefully we will hit 50,000 by the summer. With your help, I think we can do it. All right, guys. So, what do you think? Let me know. Remember, guys, until next week, don't be scared. Move forward and be creative.